The creation of the world. In the beginning, there was nothing but a vast void. From this emptiness, God decided to create the heavens and the earth. With his divine will, light pierced the darkness and the universe began to take shape. Stars sparkled into existence, planets formed, and life began to flourish. Each element was meticulously crafted. Land and sea were separated, and the atmosphere was filled with a gentle breeze. As God surveyed his creation, he declared it good. Yet, amidst all this beauty, he desired a being that could reflect his own nature, a creature capable of reason, love, and companionship, the creation of Adam. Thus God formed Adam from the dust of the ground, shaping him into a being that bore his likeness. After creating Adam, God breathed the breath of life into him, and Adam became a living soul, placing him in the Garden of Eden, a paradise brimming with trees, flowers, and rivers. God intended this garden to be a sanctuary where Adam could thrive. The Garden of Eden was a perfect place filled with everything Adam could ever need. Trees laden with ripe fruit reached toward the sky, and lush greenery surrounded him. There was peace and tranquility, and God walked with Adam in the cool of the day, sharing in the joys of creation. God's command. In this paradise, God gave Adam a command. You are free to eat from any tree in the garden, but you must not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. For when you eat from it, you will certainly die. This command was not merely a restriction. It was a protective measure designed to preserve Adam's innocence and purity. Adam, in his new existence, enjoyed the beauty of the garden and the presence of God. He named the animals and tended to the lush foliage. Each day brought new wonders. But despite the abundance around him, something was still missing: the creation of Eve. Seeing that Adam was alone, God recognized the need for companionship. Thus, he decided to create a partner for Adam. God caused Adam to fall into a deep sleep and took one of his ribs, crafting it into a woman. When Adam awoke, he saw Eve for the first time and exclaimed, "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, for she was taken out of man." Eve was not just a companion. She was a reflection of Adam, created to share in the joys and responsibilities of life in the garden. Together they were to flourish, living in perfect harmony with each other and with God. Life in the garden. Adam and Eve lived in blissful innocence, exploring the wonders of Eden. They roamed through fields of flowers, swam in crystal-clear rivers, and basked in the warmth of the sun. Their days were filled with joy, laughter, and a deep sense of peace. They were in perfect communion with God, who provided for their every need. In this idyllic setting, there was no conflict, no jealousy, and no fear. Adam and Eve knew only love and trust, both in each other and in God. They were free to eat from any tree in the garden except one, a test of their obedience and faithfulness: the serpent's temptation. However, lurking in the shadows was the serpent, a cunning creature that had a different plan. The serpent approached Eve one day and asked, "Did God really say you must not eat from any tree in the garden?" Eve, taken aback, replied, "We may eat the fruit of the trees in the garden, but God said, 'You must not eat from the tree that is in the middle of the garden, and you must not touch it, or you will die.'" The serpent, filled with deceit, countered her words, "You will not certainly die. For God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil." The temptation was powerful. The promise of wisdom and enlightenment tugged at Eve's heart. The fall, Eve looked at the tree and saw that the fruit was good for food, pleasing to the eye, and desirable for gaining wisdom. In that moment of weakness, she reached out, plucked the fruit, and took a bite. As the juice ran down her chin, she felt a surge of exhilaration. Then she turned to Adam and offered him the fruit as well. He hesitated for a moment, sensing the gravity of their actions, but ultimately he chose to eat as well. The moment they consumed the fruit, their eyes were opened. They suddenly realized their nakedness and felt an overwhelming sense of shame. In their innocence, they had been unashamed, but now they tried to cover themselves with fig leaves. Confrontation with God. When evening came, God walked through the garden, calling for Adam. "Where are you?" he asked. Adam replied, "I heard you in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid." God, knowing what had transpired, asked, "Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree that I commanded you?"